Welcome back to Jackson Squared. Today we'll be looking at a strategy we can use when multiplying and dividing integers. When adding and subtracting integers, we talked about the strategy of the scoreboard. But today we're introducing a new, fun strategy for multiplication and division. It is called the sleepy mouse. So here's our sleepy mouse. The sleepy mouse tells us when we can use him. There's a multiplication symbol in one ear and an obelisk in the other. That means we can only use this strategy with multiplication or division of integer problems. So how do we use this strategy? I am so glad you asked. So if I have my first number is positive and my second number is negative, my answer is going to be negative. If I have my first number is negative and my second number is negative, my answer is going to be positive. So based on your numbers and their signs, you cover up whatever symbols they have, and what's left is what your answer will be, your product or your quotient. So again, if I have a positive and a negative, then my product or quotient will be negative. If I have two negatives, then my product will be positive. So this is how you use the sleepy mouse. So let's jump right into some problems. And we're going to try to use our cube strategy as much as possible to help us solve this problem. So the problem says, a telephone company offers its customers a $25 discount per month if they also sign up for internet service. What integer would represent the amount of change the customer would see annually? So first of all, I see $25, so we want to circle it. That's a discount. So discount is a word that I want to box. And they say per month. Per month is important, so I'm going to just go ahead and underline that. Okay. They want to give them a $25 discount per month. So per means each month. Think about our get table, right? So every single month, they are going to get a $25 discount. It says what integer would represent the amount of change the customer would see annually. So we want to answer the question, what integer will represent the amount of change the customer would see annually? Annually is an interesting word. I'm not sure I know what that means. If you're not sure you know what a word means, look it up. If it's a name, you can ignore it and substitute your name. But if it's a word that you may think is important, and I think annually is very important. So what does annually mean? Annually means yearly, each year. So we want to know what integer represents the amount of change the customer would see each year. So then how many months are in a year? Right, 12. So we are looking at 12. And we also said per month, right? So we just want to know what's going to be their savings in 1 year's time. So first of all, they're getting a discount. I don't think that discount is on our chart, but discount is money that I'm getting taken off or subtracted from my bill. So that would be a negative 25. And I'm going to do this per month times 12. So here's our problem. What is negative 25 or the opposite of 25 times 12? Because we want to know how much they're going to save in 1 year. So you can do your side work and I'll do mine here. Remember to put that placeholder 0. And I have 300. 300. So let's pull out our sleepy mouse. And I had a negative 25, but I had a positive 12. So my answer is going to be negative. Okay, so I'm going to have a negative 300 as my answer. So in 1 year, if a customer signs up for not only the telephone service, but internet, like a package deal or bundle deal, they will save $300 a year. That's a pretty good savings. So how will we put this in our Gridable? So in your Gridable, always write your number on top. 300 is a whole number. So I'm going to put 0, 0, 3, and it's negative. Remember, you have to you have to shade in your negative for the computer to know that it's negative. You don't have to shade in a positive because the computer already assumes that all answers are positive. If it's a negative, you must shade it in here for the computer to know that it's negative. Okay? Take a second, look at the Gridable. We shaded in the negative, and it's a negative 300 because it's a discount. It's what they are saving, money that's being subtracted from their bill pretty much upfront, but still a savings of $300. Let's try one more. This problem says, a diver at sea level, okay, sea level, so remember we told you on a vertical number line, sea level is 0, that's the water level, right, the surface. A diver at sea level needs to dive to a depth of negative 2,200 feet, and they need to do this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, negative 2,200 feet. Which integer best represents the diver's rate? Okay, so we want to know which integer represents the diver's rate. So again, rate is one of those words we would box rate. That means we want to know how much he would dive each minute or per minute. That's the rate. A rate can be how much you pay per gallon of gas, or how many apples you can get for $3, how many pounds for $1 or $2. So that's a rate. How much you get paid per hour, those are rates. So we want to know how many feet will he have to dive per minute. So I just drew out a vertical number line, you can see here, and I put 1 through 10 because each minute he has to go a certain amount of feet to be able to reach the 2,200 feet in the 10 minutes. And let me make that negative because it's below. So first of all, we know what his end game is, right? We know where he's trying to go. We know that he needs to do it in 10 minutes. So what we want to know now is how much is he going to go per minute, each minute. So if I know where he'll be in 10, then I need to find out what for 1. So I know that that is going to be, again, think about our get table. This is going to be a division problem. So I'm going to say negative 2,200 divided by 10. Because that's the total minutes it's going to take him to get down there, but how much is he going each minute? So you can do your side work. I'm going to do mine here. Dividend divisor. I don't have my handy dandy piece of paper, which I never have it for these videos, but it's here. It's in the house, I promise. Can 10 go into 2? No. Can 10 go into 22? Yes. How many times? 2. 2 times 10 will give me 20. I will subtract. I get 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes. Check off my 2. Slide my paper over. Bring down my 0. Can 10 go into 20? Of course. 2 times. 2 times 10 is 20. I subtract and get 0. Is 0 less than 10? Yes. Check off my 2. Slide my paper over. I get 0. We don't stop here. You keep engaging. Can 10 go into 0? Yes, 0 times. 0 times 10 is 0. I subtract. I get 0. 0 is less than 10. Check it off. There's nothing left, there's nothing left to bring down, so now I'm done, okay? Do not stop at 22. You still engage as long as there's something to bring down. So this is telling me that this diver is going to go 220 feet each minute. But let's not forget our sleepy mouse. So again, on our sleepy mouse, we had a negative, and then our 10 was positive. So our answer should be negative, okay? So that diver is going to go negative 220 feet each minute. So every one of these minutes, he's going to go down 220 feet until at the end, he will reach 2,200 feet in 10 minutes. So our correct answer would be B. Let's review the sleepy mouse one more time. And what you will normally do is you will draw your sleepy mouse. As soon as you get your paper, like a brain dump, you want to draw your sleepy mouse. So he has two closed eyes because he's asleep in his mouth. And you always want to include the ears because the ears are a good reminder that help you remember when you can use this strategy. So again, a multiplication and a obulus sign, two closed eyes, which are our negatives, and our plus sign as our mouth helps us to know when we can use it and how. If I have two negatives, my answer is going to be positive. If I have a negative and a positive, my answer is going to be negative. Hope this strategy is fun and helpful for you. Good luck.